Nice. Did you just drag it behind you?
I don't know. I feel like what I was doing was pointless, but I was just there for the wire.
Plowing the way, huh? All righty. Okay. So Bellringer for today. Describe what gustation and olfaction is. Determine how these two senses work together. There we go. Or maybe they don't, right? Like the video we watched Friday. What do you guys think of that? I thought it was hilarious. That was pretty funny. The squid would have got me, I think. The octopus. Calamari. What was that mixed with again? Was it coffee beans? I can't remember now. Or was it the cheese? Yeah, it was the cheese. That was funny. And we did the Pepsi, right? The Pepsi test. Sarah, you picked Coke. Hannah, did you pick Coke too? I think you picked Pepsi. Yeah, you did. I think you're the only one that picked Coke. Don't worry, I picked Coke too. I like Coke. All right. All right, so what is gustation? What is that? What is gustation? What is that? Campbell, what do you got?
Sense of taste.
Yeah, sense of taste. Good, good. And we talked about some of the locations where these taste buds are located. I don't know about that. You know, the bitter in the back, salt in the sides. Was it sweet on the tip of the tongue? But that's where they signify and determine where these taste buds are located on the tongue. All right, good. And where is gustation? Where is that processed in the brain? Where's that process? Campbell, do you know? Yeah, sensory cortex. Good job. Good job. And again, it relates well with memory. All right, what about olfaction? What's olfaction? Booker, what's an olfaction? Yeah, smell. Good job. Good job. And there's an olfactory bulb, right where our limbic system's located. Okay, that's where it's perceived. And that relates well with memory. Okay, obviously with the limbic system, a lot of these senses work together, especially taste and smell with memory. All right, good. And right, kind of plays in our emotions. I know I get all pumped up when a little giddy when I know I'm going to get some good food coming my way, whether it's hot wings, right? You guys like drums or flats? Campbell, what do you like? Or don't you like hot wings? Are you serious? Oh, so you like the nuggets, the boneless ones. Okay. What about you, Sarah? Yes, I like the flats too. Oh yeah. Do you like a hot, mild sauce? What do you like?
I like it like
Buffalo?
spicy garlic. If it's right,
Mm.
spicy garlic.
You did say about that before. I like the mild with ranch, the mixture. I like that a lot.
I mean, I used to think like blue cheese is only for wusses.
Really?
Yeah, I used to like force myself to eat the spicy stuff without blue cheese because my dad would tell me it's like, oh, wusses have blue cheese. It makes it like milder, I guess. But I think spicy garlic and some blue cheese is pretty common.
See, I always would get the from my dad whenever I'd order ranch rather than blue cheese. Are you what? What are you, a girl or something? Like what? It's ranch rather than blue. I don't know. Booker, what do you like? Do you like the nuggets too, or do you like flats? Or oh, do you? Okay, all right. Whenever I'm at Buffalo Wild Wings, I get the boneless. Oh yeah, they're good. Just pop them and go. What about you, Hannah? Or do you like hot wings? Are you serious? Oh. All right. So moving on here, we're going to talk about hearing today. Okay, so I'd like you to turn to your pages in your books, 218. So let me find that in the PDF. Let's see where that's located. Let's see where that's at. So 218, you're going to read hearing, the pathway of sound, deafness. Ooh. And then I'd like you to stop. Well, we already did smell and taste, so you'd stop right there. So balance as well with the vestibular system. I know we already talked about that before, so should be good. Should be all right. Let's see where that's at. What PDF page? General information.
What page did you say?
218. 230. Hannah, you found that fast.
I had it up to Friday.
Oh, did you? Look at that. Just couldn't get enough of it, right? I had to look at it over the weekend, huh? No. Oh, all right. Oh, do you catch anything? You go for trout? Nice. Where'd you go? Or
I gotta
can't?
show you mine, Mr. Bowman. Both on the little tiny minnow.
Oh
I
yeah.
got a picture with the minnow, with the little minnow, just to prove that.
Nice. Wait, live minnow.
No, like a little jerk.
Durapalis. Sweet. Yeah, you're gonna have to show me that then. I keep forgetting to show you that song then. I'll have to play that song then at the end of class.
Oh,
The Goo Goo Dolls. I was listening on the way home Friday. I was like, oh, I forgot again.
You said 218, right? Hearing.
Yeah, 218. So PDF, it's 230, I believe. Yep, 230. All right, cool. You guys work on that, read that, and we'll move on. I like looking at figure 8.9 as well, the decibel levels. Rock band at 15 feet, painfully loud. Oh, especially if you're listening to Slipknot or someone really pound on the drums.
Did you say we're reading balance?
Yeah, read balance and that's it. Because we already went over smell and taste. Drinking some Pepsi and Coke. Tell the difference, huh? And then just look at figure 8.10, the human ear, and just look over the anatomy of the ear because you'll have an activity today. We're going to have to label these different parts and explain them. All righty. Is everybody good? Can we move on? Cool. All right. So today, like I said, we're going to talk about the anatomy of the ear and hearing. All right. So. Oh, darn it. I gotta go back. Hold on. There we go. All right, so you just read about hearing. I'm going to pull this down a little bit. Sound, obviously with sound, it's depending on sound waves. So how the air pushes, the vibrations in the air allow us to sense and to hear. Okay, now, a lot of people kind of relate it to guitar strings, right? So the guitar strings, Sarah, I know you play guitar. It makes different pitches, different sounds, different, obviously, maybe a lower, higher sound depending on the way you move those strings. Same thing with sound waves, these vibrations in the air that allow us to perceive and understand what we're hearing. Okay. In space, there's no air, so the sound wave would have no medium to push. An explosion would be eerily without sound. I think that's interesting. Isn't that crazy to think about? Right? Since there's no air in space, since there's no movement, we won't be able to hear these sounds. Unbelievable. So in Star Wars, when the Death Star blows up, you don't hear it. You shouldn't hear it, but in Star Wars, you hear it. Right? You guys like Star Wars? No? Anybody in here? Sarah, big Star Wars fan? You remember when the Death Star blew up, though? Yeah, they all heard it, which you probably won't hear in space at all because there's no sound. Oh, man, there's no air to move that sound to you. Oh, it's crazy how that works. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Tree falls in the woods and no one's there to hear it. Does it make a sound? Does it make a sound?
Yes, because air.
Yes, because of air, but there's no one there to hear it. See, hearing's a sense. If no one's there to sense it.
If there's like a squirrel.
A squirrel. Okay. Yeah, you're right. Okay. All right. I hear it. I see what you're saying. But if there's no one there to sense it, it's not making sound. There's no one there to hear it.
Not for anyone to perceive it.
Because hearing's a sound. Okay, all right.
I would argue. I mean, it's still there.
It still happened.
It's still,
Yeah.
Whatever with the air.
Yeah, there you go. All right. So that's always the argument everybody tries to. Ooh, hearing's a sense. There's no one there to perceive it, but
yeah, I guess that.
I get. Yeah, I know. It's one of those questions that does a bear.
No one's hearing it, but it's still there.
Yeah, it's like that question. Well, does a bear? Or it's not a question. I guess it's like a statement. Does a bear blank in the woods, poop in the woods? You ever hear that? They usually say another word, but poop in the woods. Well, yeah, it does. Oh. I think that's funny. All right, so frequency and amplitude. We already talked about this with, with light or with vision, but same thing with hearing. And we talk about amplitude. Obviously, these different decibels, these different pitches, depending on the sound wave, right, and how that's delivered, and how that's perceived by a person. And I always like that figure, right, on page, what is it? Page 219. I thought that was interesting with the psychological response, the decibel scale, and the example that's given. I think they said 140, which could really damage someone's ears, and could maybe even push someone to go deaf. There's a jet engine going off without any type of ear protection, and I thought that was cool. The rock band at 15 feet. They definitely get loud. Maybe sooner or later we can have concerts again. What do you think? I hope so. COVID kind of ruined everything last summer. I was supposed to go see Breaking Ben and Chevelle.
What?
Yeah, do you like those two bands?
Yeah, where at?
Woo! Nice, Sarah.
Where at?
The BB&T Center Pavilion. It's right across the bridge from Philadelphia. It's in New Jersey.
My friend and I, there was this concert a few summers ago. I think it was at the Hershey Center with Metallica and Avenged Sevenfold.
Oh,
And
wow.
another band, I forget what it was. We wanted to go. My friend's mom wouldn't let her go.
Maybe Disturbed. I don't know.
Maybe.
That would have been a heck of a concert.
Or, well, this summer, well, not this summer, next September, we're going to,
Green Day.
no, it's in California. It's called the Ohana Festival.
What?
Like Pearl Jam's going to be there.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
I gotta.
They're letting that scheduled to happen. But I'm going to take an educational field trip to learn about Pearl Jam live on stage. That's going to be the educational benefit.
Maybe we get away with a field trip. What do you think? I'd like to go to that. That'd be awesome. Dang, wow. Pearl Jam's hard to get tickets for.
Yeah,
They are.
I'm excited.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm sure you've all experienced it. Heck, I see many students walking down the hall with their earbuds blaring music. It's like, how do you hear? How can you hear anything after that? But even with a band, you're playing so loud, and many times you can't even perceive what they're playing because it's so loud, right? So deafening in a way. And again, depends on the wavelength, the amplitude, decibel level, and that's really what you just read about. All right, so the process of hearing, these sound waves are entering the auditory canal, right? So your ear is actually shaped to receive these sound waves, and it's interesting how that works and how our ears are actually shaped to do that. And my ears, maybe not, since the cauliflower ear took hold. I should have worn my headgear, right? You know what, Campbell? Oh, darn it. I can't believe it. Maybe my hearing's a little bit impaired because of that. Who knows? Maybe down the line it will be. I think Coley has some cauliflower ear, doesn't he? A little bit, yeah. Yeah. So anyway, the ear is shaped to receive these sound waves, and it travels down the auditory canal. Okay, once it travels down the auditory canal, it hits a membrane, an oval window, which we know as the eardrum. Okay, so the eardrum's receiving these sound waves, obviously traveling down the auditory canal, vibrating that eardrum. And connected to those eardrum, well, that eardrum is a 3 bones in the middle ear. It's just a cavity filled with air, 3 bones in the middle ear, hammer, anvil, and stirrup. Okay, I'll just have you remember those names. I know there's scientific names for it, but the hammer, anvil, and stirrup, that's the the 3 bones in the middle ear. So we know the one of the bones connected to the eardrum, that thin-shaped membrane. Okay, the other bone connected to the stirrup is connected to the cochlea. And once this sound wave vibrates, whatever it might be, let's say you're listening to music, or let's say you're, I don't know, going to Cuppies, traveling across the street, who knows? I know JoJo's, oh man, with that light there, it's hard to travel there. You got to time it up perfect. But traveling across the street, let's say there's some traffic going by, the sound waves are going down the auditory canal, vibrating the ear canal, 3 bones in the middle ear vibrates because of the eardrum vibrating, which is connected to the cochlea. And the cochlea is this weird looking shape here, this weird looking figure here. and part of the inner ear, and it's filled with fluid, and there's basilar membrane, so hair-like structures inside of that cochlea. And as the fluid vibrates, because of the bone connected to the stirrup, connected to the cochlea, this allows us to perceive different types of sound. It sends a transduction, right, occurs, which allows us to perceive sound and transfers that sound wave into a neural impulse. So once the cochlea, which in the cochlea, there's different parts within the cochlea that dictates different types of amplitude, and dictates frequency, how loud something is, and that's all located throughout the cochlea. There's different types of fibers, different basilar membrane, and the fluid in the inner ear obviously interacts with that and dictates different types of sounds. Okay, and I think it's interesting how the cochlea can do that. And once that neural impulse is obviously detected by the basilar membrane, it sends it to the auditory nerve. Okay, and that auditory nerve, just like the optic nerve of the eye, sends that information to the brain, to the auditory cortex, which we know is a temporal lobe, right? So that's how hearing is done, right? That's how it works. Okay, that's how that sense occurs. So again, real quick, sound waves, enter the ear canal, the auditory canal, vibrates the eardrum, 3 bones in the middle ear connected to the eardrum, which is also connected to the cochlea, which vibrates depending on the sound wave, okay? And the fluid within the cochlea interacts with the basilar membrane, the hair-like structures, the hair-like fibers inside the cochlea that transfers that information, okay, that sound wave, to a neural impulse, which will be later sent to the auditory nerve, which is sent to the temporal lobe to be processed. So there it is. There it is. And here is some of the anatomy. I should have walked through this. Sorry about that. As they enter through, right there, auditory nerve connects to the cochlea. And it's interesting, the cochlea, in some people that are deaf, that have a certain severity of deafness. My aunt was deaf. I shouldn't have played so many tricks on her. When I was younger, I used to, when I was watching cartoons at my grandma's house, she'd always try to vacuum the living room. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't hear anything. This is unbelievable. And there'd always be subtitles on it because she was deaf. She couldn't hear. So I'd walk over and plug the vacuum and just let her go to town. Let her go to town. And she'd figure it out sooner or later. And obviously the vacuum was not plugged in the wall. I thought she would feel it though. You know what I mean? Again, you unplug it, the vacuum obviously sucking it up, but she would never feel it. It'd be hilarious.
Just imagining that. Poor lady just trying to vacuum.
Oh yeah. She deserved it though. She was mean to me sometimes. She had a temper problem. Maybe because of me unplugging the vacuum. I don't know. Oh, I had fun with her. Oh, that was hilarious. My mom would always laugh too. She'd always be on my side. She's like, Gail, that's your own fault. You should have checked to see if it's plugged in. What? Oh, man.
You should be intermittently checking to make sure the vacuum's plugged
Right?
in while you're doing it.
Right? I thought she would feel it too. I don't know. You should be able to feel it when it's unplugged. Oh, but she would get done and look back. Oh, oh, but anyway, I should have showed you this here. But anyway, anybody that has a cochlear impairment, let's say, they could get a cochlear implant. I don't know if you ever heard of that before. But they actually have a device that's connected to your head, the side of your temporal lobe, where that's being processed, that connects to your cochlea, which allows you to hear in certain scenarios, certain cases. Okay. And there's actually a video I had, and there's there's a deaf family, and they wanted to get a cochlear implant for their child. And this was just, there was just backlash here and there. This deaf community, they're like, oh, I can't believe you would do this. Like, this is a culture now. There's a way of life for your child. You're going to take that away from them? Yeah, we're fine. We're normal. And we just speak sign language. And it was a unique documentary anyway. It was just like, oh, it's kind of like their own separate, culture in a way. and how they thought it. I thought it was interesting anyway. With the child, they wanted to get the child a cochlear implant. Oh, I couldn't imagine. Couldn't imagine. All right, sorry. So with place theory that links the pitch we hear with the place where the cochlea's membrane is stimulated, and the frequency theory that the rate of nerve impulses traveling up the auditory nerve matches the frequency of tone, thus enabling us to sense its pitch. There's different theories of how we understand different pitches, different types of decibels as well, and understanding how we perceive sound and how this sound is going through transduction for us to understand in our temporal lobe. The place theory, again, links the pitch we hear with the place where the cochlear membrane is stimulated. So there's actually a location within the cochlea that understands and perceives pitch, right? The different types of sound levels, whether it's really loud, whether it's not so loud, right? So there's a part in the cochlea that's believed in this theory that understands that. And many people actually believe in this place theory. They actually, more science that's coming out dictates that that's actually the understanding of how we perceive sound. And frequency theory is just the rate of the nerve impulses traveling, up the auditory nerve. So these sound waves, they kind of argue that the cochlea doesn't perform that job, right? So obviously it does. It goes through the cochlea, but the cochlea breaks it down a little bit more with the place theory. The frequency theory, the sound waves are just kind of traveling through the cochlea to the auditory nerve. The basilar membrane doesn't break down these neural impulses, okay, where it's not like it just kind of continues on to the auditory nerve. But anyway, those are the two theories of how we understand different sounds and maybe different pitches, okay? I think it's pretty interesting. I usually do a demonstration in here, like a little simulation, have someone sit up here, have blindfolded, and we do different sounds. You have to detect where the sound's coming from. Although, yeah, you might be on the right side, you might hear it out of your right ear, you still hear the sound in your left ear because the sound wave is not traveling as fast to the left ear, obviously, because it's detected by the right ear. Let's say the sound's occurring on the right side, but you still will detect that sound. It might just be a fraction slower, right? And it might be not as loud, or the pitch might be different, okay? But you still detect it because sound waves bouncing, let's say, off the door. Let's say if someone was sitting here, the sound waves would bounce off the door into their left ear. Okay, when it was the right ear, just the sound waves would direct it right towards the right ear. Usually I do that, but you understand it. I think it's more just fun. Okay, detect it. Where's the sound coming from? And I just go around the room and, right in the back of the room, you're back by the bookshelf, or you're by the chalkboard, and it's pretty cool. All right, so I got a short video for you. We'll watch it, and I'll let you guys work on the activity. So the anatomy of the ear and how we perceive sound. So that is going to be posted here soon. This is what it looks like. Very similar with the eye, obviously. And there it is. All right, so we'll watch this video quick. It's a TED Talk. Love me some TED Talks.